Good morning, and welcome to the Muscatine County Board of, welcome to the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors meeting. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2021 at 9 a.m. First item on the agenda is to review the agenda.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Doug. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. The next item is discussion and possible action on the request for the Prevent Violence Coalition for permission to place blue pinwheels and signs on the Muscatine County Courthouse, flower planters along the sidewalk at Muscatine County Jail, and in front of the Muscatine County Community Service Building for April's Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. And this is presented with Jenna.
Yes.
Right here. Thank you, Jenna.
Yep, just kind of like typical every year. I'm not sure we did get them out, you guys, even though we were in, everything was on lockdown. We did have them out, so just asking if we can do the same thing, have the planners free at the courthouse, just to put them in there with the signage and, out at the courthouse, the courthouse, outside of the jail, police department, and, Department of Human Services building.
Well, you and your volunteers have always done a wonderful job of
And,
getting it done and taking it out, and hopefully it helps, so I'd make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Jeff, seconded by Nathan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Thank you, Jenna.
Thanks.
Okay, the next item is discussion and possible action to approve a renewal application and ownership change for a Class C beer, liquor, and Sunday sales and outdoor service permit for the West Liberty Golf and Country Club at 1248 Country Heights Lane in West Liberty, Iowa.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Scott. Any further discussion?
Send the facts.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Opposed? 5-0. Okay, the next item is discussion and possible action to approve the minutes for March 8th, 2021 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Jeff, seconded by Scott. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Opposed? Okay, 5-0. Okay, the next item is correspondence. Jeff?
All I have to note was, I did attend the housing cluster meeting group, to talk about plans to kind of kick that initiative off. And also, I participated in a conference call with the EDA and the Muscatine levy stakeholders. Had a good positive call with the EDA. That process is still ongoing, as you know. I feel very optimistic that we'll probably see an award there, but we have a couple of other hurdles to kind of jump over, mostly as it relates to environmental and the SHPO office and the process around archaeological studies. So a good positive call, and again, the partners from EDA have been very helpful and very informative, so
Yes.
good call.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, Nathan?
Did not have any correspondence.
Okay. I had the same call for the EDA that I was on, and again, as Jeff had mentioned, that was a very productive and informative meeting that they shared with us, and the steps that we're closer to potentially getting the funding needed for that. Also, Jeff, you and I were on the walkthrough over at the sheriff's quarters on I think Monday right after our
Yep.
county meeting. And we got a chance to walk through some of the sheriff's quarters updates, and I think we had a few comments, a good conversation with Axiom in regards to some of the expansion that they had done, and we're pretty happy with what they had come through. And we walked through with that with Oscar as well too. I had the housing meeting as well with Charlotte, and moving forward on that potential meeting that we're gonna have on March 23rd, so I hope you guys are able to make it through that review over at the Merrill on the 23rd. And then on Friday, I got a chance to go through West Liberty Foods with their plant manager, and was able to really get a walkthrough of all the things that they're going through, some of the expansions that they're trying to do, and the challenges that they're going through in regards to looking for employees. They're like 150 employees short, which is very shocking knowing the workforce that they have, but still 750 employees that they have. The other item that they had discussed was that they had just had the vaccine distribution from Johnson & Johnson given to them basically a week ago, exactly from that time, and had very good success with that, with public health setting that up. And so I thought that was a very good feedback that they had shared with us on how the Johnson & Johnson distribution, without having hardly near any effects really coming out of that, which was really kind of a positive, which I was kind of anxious to hear how that production had done. But they're working about 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, which is very interesting with the challenges that they have. So very good meeting on that. That's all I have.
Okay, I just had on correspondence, just the emails from the COVID updates with Christy Roby Williams, as well as the upcoming storm update from Brian as well. That's all I had.
I had the same, the weather updates from Brian and Christy Roby Williams, COVID update.
Any meetings, Doug?
Committee meetings, we had safety committee, Wednesday the 10th.
I had nothing to note.
I have nothing to note as well. Anything?
Let's see, on Monday, the 8th, I had the decategorization board, Mississippi Valley Workforce CEO training, and the Magic Board meeting. And on Friday, the 12th, we had the 7th Judicial District Department of Corrections Board meeting.
Jeff?
And I had the Magic Board meeting with Nathan on Monday.
Okay.
That was it.
Good. All right, the next item on the agenda is the items with the administration office. And the first item is discussion and possible action authorizing the sheriff to execute the 2021 HIDTA sub-award agreement and related documents in the amount of $73,305. Any discussion on that?
I think this is typically an annual award that we've done with the sheriff, and this covers overtime and related expenses for that. So I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Jeff,
All right, second.
seconded by Scott. Any further discussion? I only have, what is the HIDTA stand for?
HIDTA, it's,
High intensity drug trafficking, right?
Okay,
We get a grant from them, we also get a grant from the Office of Drug Control Policy.
well, thank you for applying for those grants. We definitely like using those dollars. All right. So a motion by Jeff, seconded by Scott. No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay, the next item is discussion and possible action to approve the hiring request for the jail.
this request promotes one current sergeant to lieutenant position. That leaves them in a situation where they are eligible for 3 lieutenants and 3 sergeants. This will leave them with 2 lieutenants and 4 sergeants, and then they intend to get some more experience for these guys, and then they'll do a lieutenant exam again and potentially move one of those sergeants into a lieutenant position.
Okay. I'd move for the approval.
Okay, a motion by Jeff, seconded by Nathan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Action approved. Okay, the next item is action by the chair to appoint 2 board members to negotiate the FY 21-22 salaried recommendation for the county engineer.
I'd be happy to serve on that.
Scott,
I would be willing to serve as well.
okay? And Jeff. Okay, do we need to make that as an actual motion then?
The board, nope, you as the chair just need to appoint those two.
Okay, I'm good with those 2. Thank you. Thank you guys for volunteering for that. Okay, the next item is action to set the public hearing for Monday, April 5th, 2021 at 9 a.m. on a confinement feeding operation permit application from Waspy Prairie LLC.
This is to set the public hearing,
Yes.
so I'll move to approve.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Doug. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. I vote aye, opposed? Okay, the meeting is set for April 5th. The next item is to set the public hearing for April 5th, 2021 for the proposed plan specification, forms of contract, and cost estimate by the Muscatine County Jail booking expansion project.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Nathan, seconded by Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any other items?
I do not have anything else.
Okay, the next item is receive information from county employees.
Nancy, is this where I would
Right.
ask about
Yes.
that minute?
Good morning. I'm gonna give you last Thursday I had a webinar with the National Weather Service out of the Quad Cities, and this is their 2021 spring flood outlook. Some of the key points, flood risk this season is lower than previous years, with the highest risk for minor flooding. The snowpack has melted in the last 2 weeks. This melt has led to some river rises, especially local rivers. For the Mississippi River, risk for minor flooding is slightly above normal downstream of the Quad Cities. And then the amount of additional snowfall and heavy spring rains will influence flood potential this spring as well as the severity of any flooding. So it's a pretty good outlook considering what's been going on for the last year. As a reminder, today we are under a winter weather advisory. We got a little mix of everything today. Just caution everybody to be aware of the situation. And that's all I have.
So the hydrologist is telling us we're gonna have a better year than we've had in the past years, is what your
Yes,
summary is saying.
we've had the webinars with them. This is the third one. A lot of the snowfall that's up in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and that upper basin is gone. So it's compared to 2 years where we had almost 90+ days straight of flooding on the Mississippi. It's
Okay, good.
This doesn't take into account, obviously, the upcoming spring rains. This is just talking about the snow melt.
Currently, we're.
right. This current.
So I don't want anybody to have any false,
Oh, exactly. There's always that potential for
yeah.
we don't know what we're gonna get today.
If you remember, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, when we had, soil was saturated, it was frozen, we had heavy snow melt coming, so we knew we were in trouble. This, from what I read, there's a bit of, the soil has a bit of, room to accept some moisture, and the snow melt is coming off slowly, so it's better.
Those are all good things.
All good things, but if the spring rains come heavy and hard, we'll have challenges.
See what you can do about that, Brian, to hold those off a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other county employees?
Just wanted to give you an update. Last Monday, right after the board meeting, I did have a conference call with Bi-State and Iowa Economic Development, kind of an informational call on some CDBG dollars that I think I briefed you on that were becoming available to cover state and local share for hazard mitigation buyout projects. We had identified 2 homeowners that were interested in buyouts in the floodplain. So we got more information on that program. There are some income guidelines required by HUD. That part of the program is going to be handled by Bi-State. Their staff was on the call as well, and they're willing to assist as recommended by Iowa Economic Development. So they'll work through a lot of the federal income guideline processes for us as normal. Our staff would handle the direct application to FEMA, which we've actually already done. I'd already inputted all those dollar amounts for those other two properties. So we're in the process of ascertaining if those property owners are still willing, because it's always a voluntary project, to go forward, but we'll be moving forward with that. Eventually, I would presume I'll be back in front of you with a formal application once we come to the dollar amount needed for that request. You'll need to sign off on that, but that was some good news. It looks like there's gonna be potentially some money available that would cover the local share to purchase 2 other properties.
And those were the properties that this board said if they wanted to pursue, we could, but we weren't gonna do the local share there.
That is correct, yeah, so.
And so this is an opportunity maybe for them to get that local share handled.
Yes, and that would be not just the purchase, but also would cover demolition costs, closing costs. It'd be, the local share is 15%. This also would cover the state's 10% share if we get these dollars. So, kind of sounded encouraging.
Do those homeowners are interested? Are they?
I've confirmed that one still is, and I haven't heard back from the other one yet, but I believe they will be, because they had approached us last time. And so if they are, we'll definitely move forward and get them in touch with Bi-State on handling some of the federal paperwork. Because again, there's apparently some income guidelines attached, so it's not really a guarantee. But,
All right.
just an update, I did get a phone call, just because you'll probably be hearing from this property owner. Guy called me about a piece of county-owned property adjacent to his property. He had recently had his property surveyed. He reported that he was doing some estate planning and found out he didn't own quite as much ground as what he thought. And he's kind of been farming over onto some county ground. He's kind of upset about it, thought surveys were wrong. Did talk to Keith's staff. It involved a piece of ground that had been acquired clear back in 1973 as part of the G28 road right-of-way and bridge project. Their staff still had the acquisition files, everything looked correct, so I don't think there's an issue, but he did state that he was interested in seeing if he could get this strip of land. I explained to him that's a board decision that he would have to approach the board about. He indicated that he was already working on a letter, so just a heads up, you might be.
What are we looking at, Eric?
Where? Get the Gedney Lake area, if you're familiar with G28, that second bridge, right west of the Cedar River, I believe is that bridge. There's kind of a slough area and a hillside where Gedney Lake goes just north of G28. He owns adjacent west of that, thought he owned that bank and strip of ground a couple of years ago.
Okay, yeah, just a little tiny chunk.
Yeah.
And this was property acquired for a bridge expansion?
Road realignment, bridge expansion, or bridge, from what I understand.
I did have that
I mean,
that phone call too, so I missed that on my correspondence.
that's gotta be it.
I directed him to talk to Eric.
Yeah.
There's 13 acres north of the road, north of the new road, that the county paid a phenomenal price for in 1973,
And, was it from the same landowner? Okay,
for his father.
His parents.
father.
Parents.
Back then.
from the estate somehow, or, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know and I've talked to Jim on this, I've talked to Keith and Dennis on this, from the county's perspective, it looks like everything is correct, what he owns. I don't believe there was a mistake.
We're not doing anything with that, are we? Have no plans to,
That piece of ground,
yeah.
that's a conversation that you guys, I told him if he approached the board with wanting to acquire that, the board would direct the appropriate department heads to provide you with input. And that's most likely gonna be Keith and Kurt, because it involves road right of way and, potentially.
I think we should,
Because
yeah.
Kurt is managing, I think, most of that is part of the Guinea Lake access area. So they would have to give you input on it.
I'd like to wait to see
sure,
what,
but it's-
what Keith's comments are back on it.
And I
if he
told-
approaches
yes,
on it, so I think
absolutely.
I would wait.
Yeah, I'd wait till if the
Let's see if they do come
landowner
out.
approaches us, then we can discuss it.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up, and that we
No,
have
that's good to know.
researched it, we don't believe there was a mistake. on any survey,
Okay.
that the ownership is really not in question from county staff's perspective, so.
But, one last question, so we did get a tour, and I know you weren't able to make it there at the sheriff's, update. They shared with us that they had had a temporary, occupancy permit, and Oscar was saying they were just finishing up these last little, items. Do
Yeah.
we know where we're at on the full temporary, or the full temporary, the full occupancy versus temporary?
Johnson County's final inspection and issue
Johnson Controls, right?
certificate for
Okay.
the fire alarm system. Captain Mullins emailed them, Mike Nolan emailed them late last week saying, where are you at with this? We only have a temporary occupancy. We have full use of the building,
Yeah.
under temporary through May 15th, 20th or something like, into May on the temporary. But we have to get that fire alarm system, and we've reached out to them over and over. Mike is reaching out to them now. It's literally one more visit, they look it over, issue a certificate to the fire marshal, and we're good. So,
You could just share with us to the board when you get that.
yeah, as soon as we get full occupancy, I'm gonna let you know. I mean, it's really just a simple issue, but it's Johnson Control schedule, and as you're aware, we've had
Yeah, I know, and they're
issues
the only
over and over.
game in town, so. All right, thank you, Eric. Any other county employees?
I have a comment or a question.
Yep.
At a prior meeting, it was requested to revise the March 1st meeting, minutes.
Yeah,
And I just want to clarify that, Santos, you had stated that you wanted it reported that you had received a letter from Quinn Reese about, a possible 0% increase in his department,
correct.
but
That was in the discussion.
it was in the discussion, but I want to clarify that that should be reported in the minutes, because reviewing the letter that you received, it really is no statement of that, of 0%.
The letter from the sheriff states that he's requesting that that his department get the same or slightly higher than what's negotiated in the union contract. So if she puts in the minute that the sheriff's
Okay.
requested 0,
That's fine. So just basically, just what was stated in the email should be appropriate.
you want it to reflect what the
Correct.
letter says,
Yeah,
okay?
That's really what I was asking.
Thank you.
My apologies if that was that.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. All right, so now we move on to the next item, which received comments from the public. Okay,
They are unmuted?
all right. Hearing none. The next item is, going into non-public session pursuant to chapter 20.17 Code of Iowa to discuss strategy in the union negotiations.
I would make a motion that we go into session, closed session.
Okay, motion by Jeff,
Second.
seconded by Scott. This is a roll call vote. Doug?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
I vote aye. Nathan?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Okay. We're going to go into closed session, so we will take a 2-minute. Well, no, just to empty the
We'll
office.
just-
Yep,
yeah,
so
we'll
we'll have to close out.
It's 9:24, we're going into closed session.